Hello everybody, this little video will help you lay out your graph correctly so that you can get full marks. I have included the table in the graph section that I have used, and there's also a table on the PowerPoint with different figures you can use, or you can use your own. Now the first thing that you need to do is to decide and draw your axis and decide which X or Y is going to be labelled and how that's going to be labelled. So I'll just draw in here first of all a nice axis here. Okay, so we'll just flick it down to the bottom and we'll draw it in here. I'm going to go along here so that you can make mine out. Okay, normally we would just go down to the bottom. Okay, so that is going to indicate our x-axis, and then I'm going to draw in the y-axis. So our y-axis is going to go from where our x-axis starts, and we will just put this up. Now I'm drawing this freehand. You need to be doing this with a ruler and a pencil only, but on the iPad we can't do that. So what we have is our x-axis and our y-axis, and it's always good to remember which is which. So the way I remember it is this is our x and this is our y, because we y's up or y is up. Okay, so we need to label this x-axis, and what we're doing is a graph showing the effect of increasing pulse on our recovery rate after we have exercised. So along the bottom here we're going to have time. So we're going to label our little graph here at the bottom, our axis, and that is going to be time. And we need to indicate what we're measuring our time in, and our time is in seconds. So we just put a forward slash here and put in seconds. Okay. The next thing we need to do then is to label the y-axis. And our y-axis is the pulse rate. So we just put in pulse rate here, and that is measured in beats per minute, or BPM. After that, we need to choose a suitable scale. Now we know that we are measuring in seconds, and we took our pulse after every 60 seconds, and that was three types, or three separate 60 seconds. So that's 180 seconds. So the way I have worked it out here, if you just label it down this way, we can have, as long as we start at 0, this is 0, then we could put in 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Move on over. Then we have 120, 140, 160. And you notice that I have spaced mine out evenly. They are in between each of the larger squares. Okay, so I have 10 squares going across here, and I have a gap of 20, so that means that each small square must be worth 2 seconds. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 seconds. It's very important that you put those spaces in evenly. Then we're going to measure our beats per minute, and you look at the table. The largest beats per minute started at 160, so our graph needs to go up as far as 160 beats per minute. And if we just do it up in tens, then so we can do 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on. If we go the whole way up, we should get 160. There should be enough room to go up there. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160 and 170. We always go one above. Then we can plot each of our scales. Okay, so we have A, B and C person, or you can use yourself plus the 3. I'm just going by the A, B, C. So if I just bring it down here, I'm going to look at A, and A started with a resting pulse of 70. So you need to start where they are, and I'll just do those in green. So they have a resting pulse at 70. We put a dot and a circle. I've just put a full circle there because it's on the blue axis. So it's at 0, it was 70. Then after 1 minute, it went up to 160 beats per minute. So we go to 60. Here's 60, and then we move it up to 160 beats per minute. We put a dot and a circle. After the next 60 seconds, it was 125. So we'll just bring it down here. So at 120 seconds, we need to look at it. It was 125. So just mark off where 125 would show, and it's about there. And then finally, after the 3rd minute, it went down to 90. So we'll just go to 160, and we want to place it at 90. So we'll just go across here to 90. Then with a ruler and a pencil, you are going to join the points that you've just plotted. So we'll start with the 70, right up. After 1 minute of exercise, you could see the heart rate really increased. And then once the heart started to recover, it went down. And then it finally went down to 95. Probably if you had have measured it after the 4th minute, it would have been back to its original resting phase. And we're going to label that A, that line. And we're going to continue on with A, B and C. Once you have completed the graph for A, B and C, you need to check that you have got all your labels in and the coordinates and points have all been plotted. And most important is we need to put a title on our graph. And the title is basically what your x-axis is, in other words, what you measured, and you were, you measured your heartbeat or your heart rate, and the thing that you changed was the time, okay? You were counting across the time. So we're going to say that it's the effect of something. So our graph, this is a graph showing the effect of exercise on pulse rate. And then that would be our recovery rate, because it's when your heart goes back to its resting. It tells you when the heart has recovered back to its normal resting point. Now you need to put in the 3, A, B and C, plus your own, and you should have 4 lines on the graph. I have also put up the completed graph that you can work from and view that on your screen as well. And that will be due for work on Monday.